going on?
So it's been a while. I went to Shine.
Cool. How's that?
Well, so yeah, before that, I mean, I told you I hadn't been playing too much. Um, but then I did play a decent amount the week before Shine, so I'm not making excuses about rust. But yeah, I lost in pools again. I've lost in pools for like a lot of tournaments now. It again wasn't a horrible tournament. I still made top 48, so I guess I got my seed, but like frustrating to continually lose in pools like a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like this tournament at Hold That L, I lost in pools at We Need Some Space, and all these tournaments I at least got my seed or better, but still, it's like, come on. Um, yeah, I don't think. I mean, I definitely wasn't playing great. I think it wasn't as bad as like some of the other times my play.
That's
Um,
good.
I looked at like my notes before the set, like the game plan stuff, and basically like I still stayed. I didn't do like super horrible full hops. I think like I stayed grounded and at least played it. I think I kind of just like died early, partly like half SDs, if that kind of things like that, where I just like jumped off stage and then got edge guarded at really low percent, and
Yeah.
also bad recoveries was the main reason I lost. It was to a peach. But I'm at least happy that I wasn't like, I didn't just like start full hopping and get like dash dance dash attacked or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So that was at least a little better. Um, but yeah, I still think I just mess up too much. I think that really needs to start changing. Like I need to actually really active. So a lot of the things that I like mess up, like I mess up like short hops a lot and like wave dashes, and I guess I kind of just think like, well, I practice those in literally every single friendly I play. So specifically practicing that,
No, I
like
definitely think you should specifically practice it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm getting at, right? I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start specifically practicing even those like really basic things.
Yep.
Um, so I'm sick of messing up and losing to people. I'm just tired of it.
That's good.
As far as the rest of the weekend go, I played a lot of friendlies with like a lot of good people, which was cool. Played with like Spark. I played with Griffin a little bit. I played with like Fiction, KJH, Mike Hayes. I played a lot with Hacks. I played a lot with Lod. Um, I played some with S2J too. Actually, a decent amount with S2J before his set with Moki. Um, I think so. Lod. It was either a lot of the games with Lod was either like really close or he like three or four stocked me. And I mean, at least in the beginning, I think by the end I kind of realized why that was happening, and they became a lot closer. And the reason why I think it was happening is if he got a lead, I would just try really hard to make it back and just give him like a free opening because he would like jump off stage in between stocks, and I would try to force. I would
Yeah, and
basically
then you
one
just
of my
get
notes.
hit again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of my notes for Peach is like, don't try to force, don't try to force her too much or hit her too hard in the corner. Try to force her out. But I would just like, especially when I'm down a stock, do the opposite.
Yeah, I've
Um,
done that a million times. I understand.
yeah. So I think that was, once I started realizing that, it became closer, and yeah, he probably beat me much harder than most of the other people, but still, it was better. It got better. S2J obviously destroyed me, but not as bad as I thought. So, I mean, my thing for Falcon is like shielding when he's running at me. So a few things about that I want to talk about. One, he just kind of like drive by stomped me, and either it like shield poked sometimes, or it, like hit my tail, which was annoying, or like I just don't know what to do even if I shield it because like he's like far away. I guess just reset is the thing. I know we kind of talked about this last
I
time.
mean, it's not like he gets anything off that.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's just he was moving too fast that I just got hit anyway. But
Yeah.
mostly with stomp. That was like the thing I felt like he was doing the most.
I
I
mean,
edge guarded him a lot better than I thought I would. But
oh, that's
sorry, go
good.
on.
I just think like, I mean, especially if he's flying by you, I mean, half the time he'll be putting himself in the corner, right?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're in center and he's doing it and you're letting him out. But
Yeah,
I mean, also, it's not like it's a hard option to beat if you know it's coming, right? Like you could probably come up with 100 different ways to beat it.
that's true. But he's just moving so fast that it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm a step behind in the thought process a
Yeah.
lot of.
So maybe that's a separate issue, right?
Yeah, probably is.
But
Um,
like when
so
you tell me that's happening, I'm like, well, I mean, you hit him out of it in the startup. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
whip punish it, you could
We'll
jump
have
over it.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So the separate issue then, can should we talk about that a bit?
Well, I mean, it's hard to truly know why. I mean, maybe I mean you just don't get much practice in the matchup, and he's really fast. I mean, that's
I
already
mean that's like seems like the easy answer. He's obviously the best. I mean, I played Wizzy in friendlies like over a year ago. Um, Even that wasn't. He didn't. He's obviously the fastest Falcon I've ever played in terms of that. Like it was.
I feel like Wizzy and Nun are both faster, but I feel like S2J does the most things.
Okay. Well, I guess the way I perceive fast, at least the thing that I had a harder time dealing with is doing the most things.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's like there's a difference between him like giving you a lot of things to think about very quickly and you having to go between them versus like Nun, who I just think is literally moving very quickly.
yeah, yeah. I guess it was just a lot to process in my brain, just like a lot
Yeah,
of, and I mean, yeah, the easy answer is not a lot of Falcon experience, but I don't know. I guess
and
something
I
fun.
wouldn't worry about it too much since like that's why you're playing these people in friendlies because now you do have some of that Falcon experience
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true.
and you like that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that obviously is the point. But like, you know what? I mean, when will I get to play Falcon? Maybe Big House if I'm lucky. I'll get to play him again. You know.
Yeah, but that's why you have to like make the most of the experience, remember what happened, try to internalize those ideas and be a little more ready for next time.
Okay, so um, I think maybe I should be using platforms more neutral. To like at least I feel like it's harder for him to hit me there, and I can at least see him in neutral more. Like look at him without being putting my feeling like I'm putting myself at risk.
You can. I don't feel like it's important, I guess.
I guess that might be like an easy way out. You know, when I should just
I
be
mean,
able to take.
platforms are always the easy way out in every
Yeah.
matchup.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
I'll
it
think about
sounds
it.
like you did pretty well though, and you had fun. So
I took out of like probably like 12 friendlies, I think I took like two, which I
mm,
would have expected to take zero actually, like versus S2J since again like no real
yeah,
experience in
so
that.
that's not bad.
So I was at least happy with that, and I was surprised how well I was edge guarding because like the first few, I don't know why I have in tournament I mess up edge guarding Falcon. I know it's not that hard, but I think the main thing was I just started jumping out there more and like leaving
Yeah,
when
nice.
was up B, which like I know, but
No, I mean that's good.
yeah. Well, so Hacks of the foxes I played, Hacks probably beat me the hardest. Yeah, actually, Hacks definitely beat me the hardest. Like, Fiction and KJ, I actually took most of the fight versus them. I think it's just because he punishes me for the mistakes more than the other people, and I don't know. I hit his shield too much, and he just shines out of shield.
Yeah, you should just grab
Um,
it for shielding so much.
And what I started doing was like I empty landed in front of his shield, and then he would just like still shine because he's not reacting to the arrow; he's reacting to me jumping out. So I'd like empty land near his shield and then like near him, or like empty land up tilt or something,
Yeah, yeah, that definitely works too.
which worked a lot. But yeah, I don't know. He's just felt like he punished me harder than all the other foxes in terms of just comboing and especially edge guarding. Like his edge guarding, I think was by far the best of the foxes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, I don't know if that's just like the way I'm recovering. He has a re on it, or if he
Yeah,
actually
he
has
probably has more of a flow chart than the others.
yeah, I think I take away a lot from his edge guarding. But yeah. Um, as far as bracket went, so I don't know. The friendlies were fun. I think Laud and S2J were the most helpful, obviously, because Box Data's. Oh yeah, Spark. I've played Spark a lot before, and normally we went pretty even, but he was kind of beating me pretty hard this weekend. But I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I.
think he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, his tech chasing was actually like amazing. Um, it was so much better than Griffin's in the friendlies we played. I know Griffin's like a tournament player by heart, but still, it was crazy good. I just had to DI off stage with Spark literally every time, basically.
Yeah, I think Spark has dedicated his life to tech chasing.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Uh
Um, but yeah, I mean, I played. Yeah, those were all like the super top players I played.
huh.
I think maybe some more, but anyway, that I learned that I like took away some stuff from was mostly Lod and S2J. I think patience versus Lod and Peach in general is a big thing. Probably would have helped in my pools match. too, instead of trying to hit them too hard. And also maybe in all matches, not really sure.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean that's
Um,
important.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely we've talked about it before. Like when I don't have a lead, I try too hard to force a hit, which I definitely think I do. I think people like Lod, either characters like Peach or people like Lod, or both, just take advantage of that harder than others.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, they
definitely
don't try to do anything. They just wait till you do something dumb and then they kill you.
exactly. Um, but so the rest of my bracket, I almost lost in losers and pulls, but I mean, it was just a Falco that kept shielding on the platform, and I just kept up airing his shield, and he shield drop shined me.
Well,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
good.
I was kind of mentally checked out, but then I mentally checked back in. Um, I played some other people. I played Time Bones, Lunar Dusk, I think. Yeah, so Marth and Ices, and then so to make it to top 48, I played actually Fox Capacitor from my region,
Uh huh.
who beat Yort. So that was a little, I guess, unfortunate because I would have liked to play Yort and also wouldn't like to play Fox Capacitor. I actually reverse 3 0'd Fox Capacitor,
Mm-hmm.
which is the only set I got on stream, so probably the set we'll watch, even though I mean, I don't know how great I played. I haven't watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
My memory of it is not that great until game like 4, like not even game 3. Like I was pretty close to getting 3 0'd, and then games 4 and 5 I started to turn around. And then I lost to Albert in top 48. I was not that impressed by Albert. I thought, I don't know. His neutral wasn't. I felt like he was kind of easy to hit in neutral, but I just got reversaled a bunch of times.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, it. Well, yeah, it's annoying. I don't know. I wish it was recorded. I don't really have many thoughts about that. Just that Albert was easier to hit than I expected. He kept down throwing me. I, the down throw with Falco is port
Uh-huh.
one.
What about it?
Correct. Like it's way better as port one. Like it is
Yeah.
closer to comboing into Shine. I don't know the full details. I always try to take port one versus Falco, but he RPS'd me for it and won.
Yeah. You should take port four regardless and just SDI the down throw.
I talked to Mike Hayes afterwards, and Mike Hayes told Albert, or Albert told Mike Hayes that it's actually guaranteed a regrab or a shine. I don't agree. I
Well,
don't think
I
so,
mean,
but
I'm telling you what you do.
just
You
just
SDI the
SDI
laser.
away, and it's not guaranteed at any percent.
Yeah, you have to SDI the lasers.
Yeah, okay. I try.
Yeah, I mean, it takes practice. It's not
Yes.
like I assume you don't have a ton of practice doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I always just take port one.
Um,
Um,
but I still think port four is way better. So,
just the one frame you think is better? Is that
I
important?
mean, yeah, I like being able to combo easier.
I mean, for Sako, I feel like up their combos are pretty easy regardless.
I mean, I don't know. You say that, but then you're also like, yeah, I get reversaled a lot. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, I miss them always, but
yeah, but that extra frame sure helps.
yeah, but I feel like when I miss them, I just like miss the Falco, not like I
Mm,
up throw and I'm a frame late and he shines me.
yeah, that's fair. Well, I don't know.
Uh,
I get like, especially on FD and stuff, I like being able to chain grab more easily.
yeah, I mean the chain grabbing is important. That's true. I definitely have gotten like shined out of a chain grab, but that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
Um,
Either way, yeah, you smash the other lasers away from him, and then he can't combo off down throw anymore.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I'll practice it.
But if you don't smash the eye, he can combo.
Yeah, do you know how many inputs of Smash DI you need?
Just one, I think.
Just one SDI input. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't. Yeah. He sometimes up through or up through. He didn't down through every time. I mean, then it wasn't his like. I wouldn't call that a main reason I lost. I would say the main reason I lost was getting reversal in combos and kind of jumping off stage and dying. Um, it was annoying
I
because
think
I would
a
have had.
lot of jumping off stage and dying in this tournament.
I know. I agree.
I
I
think it's just because, like, were you trying to edge guard or?
yeah. Yes. Yes. In the situation I'm thinking about, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it sounds like you're too used to being able to jump off versus the people you play, or maybe I don't know.
I mean, versus Albert, I think it was like missed inputs, and versus the Peach, I think it was just completely being dumb and misjudging situations and thinking I could jump out when I probably definitely couldn't or shouldn't.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, but the jumping off versus Albert maybe happened like once or twice. The main thing was like trying to finish a combo and like missing, and then him taking in place shining or shield drop shining on platforms. Shield drop shine on platform. I need to stop trying to follow up combos versus Falco when they land on a platform, and I'm not sure I can get it. I think
Yeah.
it's an
Have we
easy
talked about
specific
that
thing.
before?
Yeah, versus Frenzy, I think it was one of the same reasons I said that I lost in versus Frenzy at Smash and Splash.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe I'll just counter pick FD too. I just counter pick Yoshi's. But maybe I'll stop doing it. Okay, so that's it for the tournament recap. Oh well, so now I guess we can talk about the Falco matchup because that's what we had talked about a while ago last time.
Sure.
Um, like I said, I didn't play too much. I did play a little bit with some Falcos. The main thing that I've started trying to do consciously, I should text you some notes or message you some notes, is dash forward after getting hit by laser, um, into like shine or nair. I was also doing it into grab, but I don't think that's as good. I kind of want to just dash JC shine or dash jump shine or dash nair after laser, and
Mm-hmm.
also just like if I'm full hopping, full hop in place or like 2 o'clock.
Sure.
Those are like the main things, and it actually has been working. Like when I'm consciously thinking those things, I think like almost every time it either works, unless sometimes I try to dash forward after. This actually happened once for Zelbert. I tried to dash forward after a laser, and I just walked instead of dashing forward. He just down-aired me because I was walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, I didn't. I was more like in friendlies. I was practicing it. I didn't practice the situations specifically, but I definitely should. Um, and I still want to kind of focus on the Falcon matchup too, like we had talked about before, because I didn't really probably do it as good enough a job as I should have last time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess do you want to watch a set? It's
Uh,
Fox Dittos, but it's the
no,
only set
I
I have.
think we should talk.
You think we should what? Talk?
Sounds like there's a lot to talk about.
Okay. What should we talk about?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, seems like there's a lot going on. Uh,
There is a lot going on.
I guess my first thought is that I mean the reasons you described for losing are like pretty typical for the matchups you were playing.
Okay.
So like if you before you even told me about this tournament at all, you were like, okay, so Fox Falco is happening in a tournament match. What's the most likely way for a good Fox to lose to Falco? And I'd be like, well, probably get reversal on your combos.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think that if you are as tired of losing as you're saying, I mean, it's time to just buckle down and like really make sure you have all the like most fundamental things about each matchup like super down so that when you lose, it's like completely just because there was stuff you didn't know or you got outplayed or.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and I mean,
Definitely.
it's not easy. Like for example, especially in tournament, I mean, at SmashCon one year, Falco was like the only matchup I regularly practiced, and my bracket was Zoo into Mango into West Balls. I destroyed Zoo. I almost beat Mango, and then Game 3 exclusively got reversaled for being too slow, and
Mm-hmm.
then played West Balls, and then went up in the set, and then lost 2 games because of lack of familiarity with a couple situations, and again getting reversaled. So it was like even when I was playing versus Falco very regularly, I think I still had the same problem. So,
Right.
and I think especially you're playing someone new that maybe you're not as comfortable against. They're doing things at slightly different times. You're focused on different things than normal. Like so. Sorry. All I'm really saying is, I guess, like one, it just means you really have to kick it in a gear and to be practicing and being very specific about what you practice. But two, you also have to be like extremely aware of like how playing new people or playing in a tournament affects you in terms of what you're focused on and how like that might detract from other parts of your play, right?
Hmm.
Does
Can you
that make
elaborate on the
sense?
second part?
Yeah, I mean it's just like why would I drop a chain grab versus Mango that I might not drop versus my local Falco, besides that his defense is better. And it's like what other variables am I thinking about playing this new player, is it stuff like that.
Yeah. So I don't
Like,
know.
do you feel like you messed up more than usual, essentially, I'm saying? Or do you think it's just if you had practiced better, that it wouldn't have been a problem?
More than usual in tournament or more than usual like in friendlies?
Either.
I mean, I definitely feel like it's was like different playing Albert. Like he's like I'm like not used to something. It's not like he was doing anything crazy. But it's just like the fact that it's a different Falco feels weirder than like playing different Sheiks in friendlies. If that makes sense.
Okay. Any reason?
No, I don't know. That's why I wanted you to elaborate because it sounded like you were saying things similar.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there could be any number of reasons, right? But
I mean, so I do think I just mess up a lot. I mean, I think that's like I said, I'm just sick of it, and I need to start practicing basic things and stop messing up. Um, and I think it happens more in tournament, but also like a lot in friendly. Like I still mess up a lot in friendlies too.
okay, well, the first step, if something still happens in friendlies, is fully fix it in friendlies because I mean, there are just more variables you're worried about in tournaments. So, like, if you can't do it in
Yeah.
friendlies, you can't do it in tournament. But I mean, if you fix it enough in friendlies, I mean, you might just have less to worry about in tournament. That might make it easier to do. Also, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so for example, like versus the Peach, I played him in friendlies after I lost him, and we played like 9 friendlies. I won 8 of them. I lost one, so it's like there definitely is something about
I mean, you
tournament.
probably got less annoyed. You probably, I mean, you also probably learned your lesson and stopped jumping off stage stupidly, right?
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, literally just that probably changed the outcome of half the games, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think in a 2 out of 3 set, it's like dying once at 10% is like obviously game changing. So.
Yeah, but then I mean that leads to another thing, which is that like if you die at 10% in one friendly, you probably worry about it a lot less than if you die at 10% in a 2 out of 3 set.
That's true too. That's true
So
too.
like, you know, that's also a reason you probably mess up more because like when you lose a stock, you know, in a situation you shouldn't have, you obviously feel the impact of it more in a tournament match, and that can be distracting. It can take up your emotional energy, your mental energy, you know. And I mean, I think learning how to take those stocks just as seriously in friendlies and overcoming it is like a pretty big step towards improving.
So you think the idea is to take them as seriously in friendlies as in tournament, not like the other way around, like treat the tournaments like
I mean,
they're
I don't know if we've talked about this, but I suspect we have.
yeah,
My advice is always to tackle it from both sides.
okay. I don't know if we have actually.
Okay, maybe we haven't, but I wasn't sure if you'd heard me say it to someone else or something. But I mean, I think that the classic way people try to get better, and I tried to do this for years and years and years, and it never worked, was oh, I'm so good in friendlies, so I just have to treat the tournament like a friendly. And you know, after
Yeah.
many years of that not working, I was like, huh, what do we do? And I think the answer is just to tackle every problem from both sides so that there's no possible variable you're missing. So it's like, yes, you should try to make the tournament feel like a friendly, but like you should also take the tournament feeling and recreate that in friendlies, and then like that way you can practice it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I
I'll
mean,
try
yeah,
that.
you should take the stress off yourself in tournament, though. Don't get me wrong, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't always just work like that, especially because it's something you aren't familiar with. But if it's a feeling you are familiar with, then you're going to be a lot better at taking the stress off yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it's hard to take friendlies and simulate them as tournament. I don't. I mean, like, I take friendlies seriously, but it's just like it's not. It just doesn't. I don't know how to make it like the next step, like all the way there. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's as complicated as you think. I mean, it's just like if you lose a stock at 10% in a friendly, what goes through your head? Does anything go through your head?
Um, so I guess it depends a lot who I'm playing against, which is another thing.
Yeah, I
So
mean, there
if
you
I'm
go.
playing versus people I know in friendlies, like people that okay, basically if I'm playing versus people that I know that I think I'm better than, then I am much more. Actually, that's a good point. Because when I lose a stock at 10%, even if I'm like trying to quote unquote like prove, that I'm like better than X or like
You
try
still
to
don't
show,
worry about it, right?
it's still not bad because I'm like, oh well, I lost at 10%, so they it's realized it's still not a big deal because it's like I can convince myself that it's like, oh yeah, I would have won if I didn't do this stupid. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, so I mean, like already on a basic level, it's like that's why I'm like, don't overcomplicate it. It's like very clear that you have a completely different thought process there, right?
Right.
So, what do you
Right.
think when you lose a stock at 10% in a tournament?
I mean, obviously, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. So, like, what else? I mean, be specific. What do you actually think anything, or is it just kind of in the back of your mind? Is it like
Um, okay. Well, it depends actually. So when like versus the Peach, it was like I remember game three. It was like he was at three stocks high percent, and I was at like two stocks low percent, and then I lost it and moved on to my last stock. And
uh-huh,
but I actually was, I consciously thought I was like, okay, I can definitely still win. I can beat this guy. He's not better than me. I can still come back. That was my thought in that situation.
uh-huh.
And I almost did. I brought it to, I was had a lead last stock, and then
That's good.
so it
But what
isn't.
about versus Albert, where if you got reversaled stupidly,
So getting
there.
reversal is a different thing. So I think I do like in friendlies, if I get like reversaled like that, I do get annoyed, I think, in friendlies, because I think like, oh, they think they're like not exaggerating a little bit, but oh wow, they think they're so good when it's just because I messed up. Like that's kind of what I
Sure.
think. But I guess in tournament it is a little different thought process. I don't really think like that. I think like, yeah, I guess I think, damn, now I'm gonna lose because I did something stupid.
Okay. Well, I mean, both of those thought processes aren't helpful, right?
I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there you go. And maybe losing your stock at 10% doesn't affect you, and that's great. But maybe getting reversal does. And these are all things that I think you should put some thought into.
I definitely think getting reversal probably affects me more. Well, getting reversal from a mistake that I made, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I must have checked it, like, if I turn my combo into their combo, it annoys me definitely way more.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to become, a better tournament player, I think a big step is figuring out all the reasons like that. What feels different? Why does it feel different? And one reason it might feel different is that when you get reversaled by, Falco's a matchup where you'll get reversaled, and Sheik is not really a matchup where you'll get reversaled.
It's true.
So I mean, I'd say that's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I mean, there could be other reasons too, but it's just like I think the first step is you tackle all the biggest reasons, and then
The
from
biggest reason
there,
friendlies
things
feel
will
different
probably
than
be a lot more clear.
the biggest reasons friendlies feel different than tournament.
Yeah, or like biggest reason for anything really. It's like if you can get the big reasons out of the way, you can like figure out what else is going on, or maybe you won't even need to because the problem will just be solved.
Okay. Um,
So,
yeah, I
but
mean, I guess
anyways,
I guess the big reason is in tournament. I'm just feeling like I have to prove. I'm trying to prove myself because basically I feel like I haven't had a tournament where I've played to my like skill level, like
yeah,
literally.
I mean, I feel like that's detrimental because then like each tournament, you just put more pressure on
Oh
yourself.
yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying this is what I'm feeling. I did. It's definitely a
Yeah,
bad thing. But then what do
but
I do? I mean, like, it's not.
yeah, I understand. Um, so
So
yeah, I mean, you have to fix that in friendlies, right?
fix it in friendlies, as in I should make friendlies feel the same way, or
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, or you should take them with the same level of seriousness. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't
I
know.
don't know. Like, if you play a tournament set, you probably feel differently after each stock loss than you do in a friendly session. And it's like, I'm not telling you to play 4 hours of friendlies where you simulate tournament, but like, you should set some number of games aside where you try to put yourself in the same mental state and take it just as seriously.
Do you think like pretend like it's a tournament, like things like that, or
I mean, that's up to you. I never really pretended it was tournament per se, but like,
I just don't know how to simulate the feeling. Like I could say like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to play the. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna. You can't force myself to feel like it's tournament. Like I could play as if it's like try really hard. I could do
well, I
that.
mean, we already went over this, right? It's like, don't overcomplicate it. It's like, take common things like, how do I feel when this happens? And then make sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, that's the part I don't get. Make sure you feel way the same way. It just doesn't seem possible to
Well,
me.
if you get reversal, can you not change your thought process?
I mean, I can change what I'm thinking. I guess I
Well,
can't
yeah, if you change
really
what you're
change what
thinking,
I'm
it'll help
feeling.
change what you're
Maybe
feeling.
maybe I guess I am overcomplicating it.
Yeah, it's like if you change what you think, that leads to changing what you feel,
Okay, okay. I'll
right? Like if you haven't even tried that yet, you can't be like, "How do I do
Yeah,
it?"
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I'll report back.
Yeah, which is that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Like so many people are just like, "Okay, like I can't do it. They're just different." I'm like, "Well, you know, have you really tried?" It's like you can't just like hit a button and be like, "All right, did it work?"
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
have to like actually work at it and practice it, just like you practice every other thing. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing with mentality that people get wrong is that they think it's something they can change without practicing it. But like
I mean,
mentality takes the same exact practice that tech skill takes.
I have practiced mentality too.
And it has worked, right?
I mean, I think in some senses,
Yeah, it's worked when you've done it, right?
but I don't know. It's hard to say like just worked or not. I mean,
What do you mean?
I don't know how to measure if it's worked. I don't think I meditated before the tournament here, and I guess I thought good things after I lost the peach, or after I was like down lost off with the peach, and it's like
I mean, that's good, and you almost brought it back, and maybe it was just like you went down too much, but it sounds like you brought it back and you were able to not choke, and you played pretty decently, all things considered.
yeah, yeah, but yeah.
I mean, I would consider that good.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Cheating
Yeah, I
was
mean, don't just be like, well, I lost, so literally nothing I did mattered. It's like,
exactly that is what I'm sort of feel. I mean, it's just because it's like if it's like one tournament that it's like a bad tournament, I can get over it. But it's like just so many straight tournaments that I've lost in pools.
yeah, but like, what if you changed from tournament to tournament for it to like not be the same?
That's true. That's true. I don't think I've changed much from the last one.
Yeah, it's like you can't
Well, no, I started
again
writing down the game plans. I did do that.
say what?
Like I started in terms of mentality. Not, I'm not sure. I did start I like reading game plans before each matchup.
Okay, so did reading your peach game plan help you versus the peach?
Yeah, it did help. I did. I forget to read it. I'm not sure if I read it versus Albert. No, I'm not sure if I did. I know I did versus myself versus Fox Foster. But yeah, it definitely did. Just the idea of staying grounded. I mean, I think.
Okay, great. So like it did help, and like
I understand. Yeah, you're right. You're
well,
right.
so the funny thing is though that like if you lost in spite of all these improvements, then like maybe you're just not as good as you think you are,
Yeah, that's probably true.
which I think is also a factor that like you can't ignore the fact that you improved on like several important things and still lost.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, in addition to that, there's the fact that like you can improve at as many things as you want, but like if you sat Leffen down to play this peach and you told Leffen that every 30 seconds he had to SD no matter what percent he was at, he would also probably lose to this peach.
that's true.
Like with enough
I mean,
limitations, like anyone would lose, right? So like the most important thing at the end of the day is like how many stocks do you have? So like you can make as many improvements as you want, but like you can't just pretend like, ah man, I mean, and ignore like the fact that you literally probably killed yourself.
yeah, it's just it. I guess that's true. It just seems weird that like I did all this dumb stuff for his Polish, like these full hops at him, and he's like a 10 times of a better peach, and then I stopped doing this dumb stuff and lost. But obviously the SD thing and just like
Yeah, I mean like I'd say losing a stock at zero is probably worth doing like many good things, right?
yeah, that's true.
You can't just like make up
And
for
that's why I want to like I said, I really want to just focus on execution, like simple things, and stop messing up.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's great.
'Cause
I mean is Polish really 10 times better also?
not 10. I think he's definitely better.
I mean he's probably definitely better, but like
I don't know
I
what.
mean better is also like not really important because like people just play differently, you know?
That's true. I will say that this peach, so the peach I'm used to playing, like Buntek, is a lot more passive. This peach just kind of like ran at me more times than I expected.
Okay, so you have less experience versus how the Peach was playing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, Polish could be better in some sense that you want to, whatever you decide better means, but like doesn't change the fact that, maybe this Peach is playing differently and maybe it worked versus you in spots where Polish would never challenge you there and maybe you are weaker at that spot.
Um, yeah, I do think I am kind of weak when the peach starts running at me. Um,
Yeah, so I
or,
mean,
or
like, do you see how many variables there are that like
so
it's not like you can look at this tournament and look at every other major you've been to and just be like, yep,
the
same thing.
TLDR, yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is that I'm trying to simplify it way too much.
Yeah, it's like you just need to treat it the way you treat everything else. You need to practice it. You need to be specific. You need to, it's literally the same as improving at like a new matchup or a new anything.
So
All the
what
same.
what
What?
so what is the same? Like improving? What are we talking?
Improving at, performing better in tournament,
Improving at
mentality wise or results wise or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it is the same as improving your tech skill or improving at matchups or whatever else. You
So I
need to
mean,
take it. Go ahead. What's up?
so right. So one of the things obviously we were saying is to try to treat friendlies like their tournament. But then like force myself to think the same thing. But we also kind of talked about how the thing that I'm thinking in tournament isn't necessarily the best thing. Also,
Okay, but like, so what you can do then is take what you would think in tournament and think about it in the friendly, and that should help remind you of how you were feeling, and then you can maybe start to
that's
transform
true.
that. So, for
That's true.
example, what you're thinking when let's say you get reversal and you're in tournament, you're like, fuck, like I'm gonna lose and it's gonna suck and I'm not and I was better, but like I lost anyway. And if that happens in a friendly, I want you to remind yourself that that's what you were thinking. And then you can, but since it's a friendly and not as in the moment as a tournament match, you should be able to take a step back, look at that thought process a little more objectively and have it like not affect you and maybe insert positive thoughts
So
instead.
basically, like, okay, yeah, I just got reversaled, but if I am better, then I can still, or if I am good enough, I can still get another opening in neutral and
Or even more importantly, maybe what you should do is not let yourself, like, once you think it, just force your, don't even remind yourself anything else, force yourself to just refocus on a new moment,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like,
that's what like everything I've read about like mindfulness and stuff is that's what that would tell me to do.
yeah, and I actually think both are good. I think one thing is, if it's like a respawn situation, take a moment to stop and think and refresh your thoughts and play in a better mental state. But honestly, you should also practice sessions where you literally don't notice what just happened and you're only focused on the next thing. And those are two separate things to practice.
Yeah, you once said, and I think it was like you're with Ginger, you did the podcast stuff, and you're like, when a fox shield drops on a platform, you think, or not a fox shield drops, a fox spot dodges on a platform, you think, oh, he missed a shield drop, but Armada just thinks, oh, he spot dodged on a platform or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a great example. And those are two different things you need to practice, but you see how both of them could help towards fixing the problem that you might be experiencing.
So the two different things are one, be objective about the situation that's happening now. It's like, okay, I'm getting comboed. Where do I DI? Whatever. And the other thing is think, try to reframe what I think about when I get hit. Like, okay, yeah, I'm getting hit, but it's okay. I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah, just
valuable
something a
enough
little more
that I can get
positive and that's not going to be detrimental to your performance.
and basically start doing this in friendlies, especially the kind of the second one because that sort of simulates the tournament one more. And
Yeah.
then,
But do you see how, like, sure, you can't just pretend it's a tournament match and suddenly care so much about the result. But yeah, like, you can say, you can experience those same thoughts about getting reversaled. You can attack those thoughts, from a more objective perspective and then, like, try to transform them into something you would rather think. And then you can internalize that as your natural response to the situation.
yeah, yeah, okay.
And then also, if you spend, 30 minutes of each session practicing just staying mindful and present and not worrying about what just happened, you'll probably also get a lot better at not worrying about things like getting reversal.
Yeah, I guess I haven't done that as much as I should have, given how much I've like read about, mindfulness and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, that's the classic is Smasher picks up book, reads a million things about mentality, goes 0 and 2, doesn't change anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
I
that is
thought
literally,
I was changing things because I would like meditate semi regularly,
yeah, but
but
that, yeah, yeah.
not the whole thing. I mean, it's part of it, but it's not the whole thing. It's like, yeah.
I mean, that's why I like make fun of Smashers for caring about mentality so much. I've done that for like the last 10 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
just like, it's all like not real. Because like people essentially substitute working on mentality for like improving at the game.
yeah. Which is also something that I need to do too. Mostly stop messing up. I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you can tell yourself whatever you want, but that's not going to change the fact that you still might be bad at X or Y
I'm,
or Z.
like I'm still full hop like way too many times when I'm trying to short hop, and that just like shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and no amount of
And
meditation
that's
will
not
change that.
exactly right. It's not a mentality thing. It's not like I'm mindful that it's not anything like that.
No,
And that's
it's like you need to practice your short
like
hops.
I'm not sure. I don't think there was any specific time when I full hopped instead of short hopping that like lost me a stock in tournament. But it happened in some friendlies that I played, and it's like it could have happened in tournament, right? Like
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's like, see, these are all these reasons. And it's so easy after the tournament match to only focus on the specific
exactly,
reason
yeah,
you lost that tournament match. But it's like, no, because you're saying, oh, this keeps happening. It's like, well, different things are happening each time and you're not fixing them because you're kind of simplifying it and clumping it all together.
okay. So basically, I guess for this week, it's just like practice really basic things in terms of practice, mostly like wave dashing. Because I also full hop when I try to wave dash a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you should when you practice tech skill, like you should be practicing things that are the most common to your gameplay.
Yeah, I guess like so. Most of what I've been practicing is just like I told you, kind of what I've been practicing last week. It was like from like a just like everything, right? Just kind of like moving around and stuff. So nothing like super specific, but
Uh-huh.
just like moving around the stage and also like shadow boxing and things like that. But not specifically like just like short hop for like 5 minutes or something specific.
Yeah, I mean, I might not literally just short hop over and over for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean things into short hop also like right
Yeah,
like
things into
in what situations
short
am I
hopping
missing
to
short hop?
things,
Yeah.
recreating scenarios in your mind, shadow boxing with short hop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
I mean,
talked about efficient practice before for sure.
yeah,
So
exactly. Like the reasons in the situations that I'm messing things up is the situations that I should practice them.
exactly,
Which
but
I'm
like,
aware.
yeah, you should practice short hopping in and out of things and for different reasons. That sounds like a great idea.
But I would practice like the situations, and then I wouldn't really like focus on the fact that I'm missing the short up in these situations. I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But now you will.
So yeah, it's like yeah. So I think I am kind of practicing it, but not focusing on the things that I'm actually messing up
Yep,
that
that
are
sounds
simple.
exactly right to me.
I mean, I was
So
practicing things like like shine, short hop, nair, which I also keep like I'm trying to start using that, and I keep missing that too. But I think that's even like too more complicated. I'm just messing up. I mean, that's one situation where I'm messing up short hop. So I mean, sure, we can go with
hmm
that. And then the other thing, obviously, so that's practice, and then obviously the mentality stuff we talked about. So basically, just to recap, two in friendlies, two things is one, when situations happen that would make me mad in tournament. A practice being I guess I need to consciously do this, right? Not just say it. A, actually be mindful of what's happening and seriously say like, okay, for me, this is what I need to do. Like for the next 20 minutes, say, okay, when situations happen, practice being mindful of it and actually say it and not, because sometimes I'll go into a friendly session being like, oh, I'll try to be mindful of situations and I just end up playing and kind of forget about it.
you mean like not worrying about what just happened?
Yeah, yeah, that's one. I mean, that's one thing.
Sure.
There's the other thing too, but I just think my issue is I'll say that I'm going to work on this and then I'll just kind of like not work on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, cause yeah, even going into I've done this before, like, even going into the friendly session, say, like, "I'm gonna work on this," and then it's just like we play and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty common too.
So, yeah, I know. So I wanna say, like I wanna specifically say, "Okay, for the next, like, 10 minutes in these situations, I'm gonna be actually mindful of what's actually going on the screen instead of focusing on that."
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And then the other
I
thing is
really like the phrase "staying present" more. I
yeah.
think it's very, it's more descriptive.
So, yeah, like I said, kind of I think I do a okay job about that in tournament when I actually die, but not when I'm, like, getting comboed. So that's
Sure.
kind of what we were talking about with Peach. um, the pizza situation. And then the other thing is, kind of specifically practice, like realize how this would make me feel in tournament, and then sort of try to reframe that in a way that's better, like a
Yeah.
better thought
And I mean,
process.
sometimes that might require thinking even before you play about how do I reframe X, Y, or Z thought. Like a lot of that takes like creativity or thinking because like it's not easy to reframe every single type of thought into something more productive.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
like, I've definitely had things where like I would message people and I'd be like, "Hey, like I really am lost on how to like what perspective I should take on this thought to like make it into something positive or productive." And like I needed to get a bunch of ideas. Like it's not always going to be obvious.
I mean that's true, but I also feel like it'll be hard to. At least until I play, I won't really know what I should be reframing my thought
Yeah,
from.
yeah, of course. But I'm just saying that like don't expect like cuz going back to like what you said at first where you're like, "Well, how do I just change how I feel?" I'm like, "Well, even for some of these things where you have the right idea about how to change it, like it might not always be immediately clear as well."
Yeah, that's true. It's also, I mean, the other thing is it also might not be immediately clear how I feel until I actually play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot to
I
it,
think I
right?
need to. I mean, part of practicing it is really taking note of how I'm feeling in these situations and how I think I would.
Yes, exactly. Which is why I'm saying, like, you really have to practice this just as much as in just the same ways you would practice anything else.
It's like, yeah. obviously I was like mad in some of these situations that happened in the tournament, but like I can't really exactly remember how I felt at the time, which I think about
Yeah,
makes
and if
sense.
you can't reflect on that, then like it's really hard to improve from.
Exactly. Yeah, I have some idea, but no, not. Um. So, and then in tournament, so I do have a tournament next week. Which because we have a Show Me Moves in Champagne. So I think a good thing to is actually really take note. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I should be thinking about going into the tournament. Maybe try to think about how specifically the situations, some of these situations make me feel. I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
either.
not really sure
That's,
what my mentality should be going
I
into the
think
tournament.
that's up to you. There's so many things to work on that I don't really think it's
Exactly.
important.
You said you don't think it's important.
Yeah, just like pick something and work on it. You know,
Oh,
like
I see.
it's the thing where there's so many things to do that like as long as you do them, eventually like it'll pay off.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like I don't think there's an order that will be the most efficient or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe stop focusing on results too.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's easier said than done.
yeah, way easier said than done. I mean, I don't know. I think that when you focus on play like goals that relate to your gameplay and how you feel, that will naturally shift your thoughts away from results.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're all related though, right?
They are, but I mean, I
If
think
my
that's the
gameplay is
first
not
step.
great, then my results aren't great, which is
Yeah. Um. Okay. So anyway, there's still a lot more I wanted to say. Um.
okay.
That was just the baseline of like getting you to truly realize that like there's not much to be mad about realistically. Do you
Okay.
see what I mean?
There's not much to be mad about.
Yeah, just like you can't be mad at yourself for not getting better at something you haven't been working on. You can be mad at yourself for not working on it, but like,
Yes.
yeah, I think that's an important distinction. Also, I mean, do you think you've been seated the same way at all these tournaments?
Uh, Probably about because like I said, the results weren't really
I mean, do you not think your seed is better now than it was a year ago?
a year ago. Yeah, for sure, a year ago.
Yeah, so like that's another thing that you have to realize that like everyone around you is improving and like you're also being seated higher. So like even if you don't feel like you've made that breakthrough, like I mean, if you're being seated higher but still matching your seed or performing better, then aren't you like literally doing better?
I mean, I guess, but it's like, I mean, maybe in the a year ago, yeah, but like the last like 4 months or so,
I
I
mean,
mean,
4 months is not a long time if that's not what your focus is. I mean, like
that's
how many big tournaments have you been to in 4 months?
actually, I mean, I went to Smash and Splash, and I mean, I guess I did well. I guess I did get seated better. So, um,
And
yeah, I
Smash
mean,
and
I guess
Splash is where you almost beat Fiction and otherwise did fine, right?
yeah, but that was because I got Lot got DQ'd. But then I did beat Polish and at the next tournament.
Yeah, so like, aren't you also being somewhat unreasonable in that sense that like it's been what 4 months? Like again, how many tournaments have you been to in that time that you're
I mean,
counting?
that's true. That's true. I am being
It's
unreasonable.
like you can't just change something in two majors or three majors, especially when you weren't even working on it. So like,
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
and I mean, again, like the matchup you've mostly worked on in the last 4 months is Fox Dittos until the last like what month, maybe month and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like we only like a month or two ago we talked about some mentality stuff versus Sheik. And I mean, it sounds like some amount of it has already paid off based off what you
yeah.
told me.
I money matched JFlux also.
Yeah.
And I kind of destroyed him. I mean,
So
Sparking.
you got it. Yeah. So like I feel like J Flex, I mean, is probably in the same tier of Sheik that you previously would have lost to.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so.
Right.
Yeah,
So like and you destroyed him, so that probably means like you were doing pretty good things or your mentality was pretty good.
yeah, but I mean, yeah. I don't want to bring up the difference between tournament and like a money match, but the difference between tournament and money match.
I mean, yeah, but like you if you can't even you couldn't have even done that in a money match before.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, so I feel like you keep just jumping to the well, like it doesn't matter, but like no, it does matter because
I know,
like
I know.
if you fix enough of it, it will matter. It's just like the game is hard. There are lots of good players. Like you haven't improved at a lot of these things. Like it's not just gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
When I
Um,
switched to Fox in 2016, um, I spent from March of that year until December of that year performing horribly, despite already having performed well in tournament for the previous year with Sheik.
yeah,
So, say what?
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, it all makes sense. I mean, it's an emotional reaction. I guess the way I'm feeling, obviously.
Yeah, and it's okay to have that reaction, but it's like if at no point do you take a step back and like be more objective with yourself, like you're not only going to not improve, but you're going to like hinder your improvement.
Yeah, I guess I've talked about how like results, like to other people, like results, it's not that important in the long term, right? Because you're getting better. But obviously, when everyone only thinks and talks about results, it's hard to actually think that way and feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, also, I mean, I think a nice, a helpful thing is to surround yourself with the right type of people that you want to be around.
What do you mean? Like
Well, just like, I try to be in social circles where people understand that, results aren't everything, or I try not to engage in lots of discussions with the types of people who do want to have that mentality.
everyone talks about results though. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
I
what you're saying.
mean, not literally everyone, right?
I mean, I guess not.
I mean, I don't know. If you think like Twitter's a problem, then I mean, maybe you should
I don't have a
unfollow.
Twitter. I
Say
mean,
what?
I don't use Twitter. So.
Yeah, I was just giving an example
Yeah,
though.
yeah, I
It's
understand.
like, oh, social media, that's all everyone's talking about or something, then like, don't look at it. Or like I saw Toussaint make an absurdly salty tweet where he was like, yeah, someone made a video about me where they say I'm stagnating, but I've beaten all these people. Fuck all of you. My results are way better than what you think. And I'm like, dude, like, why are you so, if they're way better, then like, it'll work out eventually?
That's true. That's true. I
Like
mean,
that's another thing. Like people get so bogged down on like fucking minor results differences. It's like or like seeding things. It's like you know what? Or like PRs, right? Like here's an easy one. Someone's like, ah man, I would have been 10th on the PR if they looked at it this way. I'm like, dude, if you're not good enough to clearly be on the PR, then why does it even matter?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like
I
I don't
definitely
want to be fringe top 50. Like if you have to debate whether I'm good enough to be top 50 or not, I'm clearly not that good.
right. I agree. I agree.
So like
That's how I want to think, right? Like I definitely think that's the healthy way to think. And
yeah, like you should be so much better than that, or like you should strive to be to the point that like if that's what you're worrying about, you clearly aren't actually trying to get better.
that's true. I know, and and I understand this in theory. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll be.
I trust that you can do it. It's very easy to get overwhelmed by the number of things there are to think about and work on. So it doesn't even mean that you don't know it. It's just like you're probably just focused on many other things. And like maybe this tournament or other tournaments were a wake up call for you to want you to change your priorities. And that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, I think it is just because, like, again, it's like if I lose in pools once and still do fine, but it's like three straight tournaments that I've now
Sure.
lost.
And like that's totally valid. And it's like, but that doesn't mean all the work you've been doing till now was pointless. It just means you weren't prioritizing the thing that would most directly change that result you're unhappy about. But
Right.
all that other work you're putting in is going to make it easier to improve once you do prioritize that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like if you did none of this work and just went straight to trying to fix that problem, I guarantee you would just be like, oh, well, now I'm fixing this problem and I still suck. What else should I do? And you would eventually come across all the other problems we've talked about.
yeah, I see. It's like okay, now I'm not losing in pools, but I mean, like yeah, I'm still
Or
getting
like
pools.
I'm not losing to this player in polls, but I'm losing to that player in polls. It could be so many things that just like that's not really the point.
I understand.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not upset at all. I just want you to truly realize that like you're probably being hard on yourself a in a way that's unhealthy, but b about the wrong things. Like I want you to be hard on yourself about the right things.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was the hardest on myself after this tournament in pools,
Mhm.
specifically in pools. I mean, once I got top 48 or whatever, I was like more okay with it, but still, I definitely was.
Yeah, but isn't that also like an arbitrary distinction?
Yes, of course, I know. It makes no
Right.
sense.
Yeah, it's like,
You don't.
I mean, honestly, maybe you should be just as upset about losing to Albert as the Peach, you know?
I should. I feel like I should be right. The thing is, if Albert like didn't have the perceived skill level of
If
whatever
Albert didn't beat HBox a month ago, you might have been equally mad. And
yeah,
instead,
I think so. I think I definitely
well,
would
like, that's stupid because, like, I'm honestly just as upset that you lost to Albert as the Peach because, like, to me, they're just two random players that, like, don't matter to me.
have. Okay. Okay. Fine. I'll stop losing to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real goal, right?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah. Um, and then also something I wanted to talk about is something I said earlier but didn't really get into, which is if I had to like, go through the most common ways someone could lose with Fox to all these characters, you actually described two of them that I had very conscious thoughts about when I was improving at the game. Like getting reversaled by Falco in tournament and jumping off stage to deal with Peach in tournament are two very, very, very specific thoughts I've had that were like, oh, this is how I lose this matchup.
Yeah.
So I think that identifying those and coming across those now is great. And I think you should realize that, like, until this tournament, had you consciously associated losing with Peach in tournament with maybe making those types of errors?
No, I mean definitely I had Falco, but I had not Peach, and
Okay,
also
so like that brings up two great points. So one, you've created a great opportunity for yourself to improve versus Peach because if you can actually work on this and A, figure out when you can jump off stage versus Peach, and B, like realize when you just shouldn't, and then like those are two different fixes for it, right?
yeah. So this I mean before we had talked about writing game plans for each matchups, and they're basically like the summary is like how I would like win
Okay,
the
so now you have something to add to your game plan, right?
right. This is how I lose how I lose the matchups, and then I won't do it. Like because yeah, I'm aware like getting reversal by Falco is a big way. I lost a frenzy, and how I can lose to
Yeah,
Falco.
so what I really
But
want to say about that is for the Peach case, you have added to your game plan. For the Falco case, it was something you knew that you hadn't implemented. So this is a good wake up call. One, here's an improvement that you can make, and that's not a wake up call. That's just something you genuinely didn't have down, and that's okay. And now you will have it down. And
yeah, but
then
I'm
for the,
even
go
for the
ahead.
Falco case, right? Like even for the Falco case, even though I'm aware of it, it's not something I was like thinking about going into the set. And if I was,
Exactly. So it's like, but it's not even something I think you should really think about so much as something you just need to practice until you don't mess up.
exactly. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
in the reversal case. But see, that's a great example. So it's like instead of even thinking about, oh, have I gotten better or what's my tournament mentality or all this stuff, even outside of literally everything we've discussed for the last hour, if you just treat it from the game plan perspective, it's like, okay, so versus Peach, here's a new game plan thing that, well, I think you should also understand it better, not just write it down. Because like I said, there are cases where you do or don't want to jump off stage.
Yeah,
So being specific about that rather than just saying, okay, I'll never jump off ever again would be very helpful. Even if saying I'll never jump off again would help you in the short term, still might not help you beat Laud. Might help you beat the first Peach, you know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
But so again, that's where like if you just prioritize winning in the short term, you still would be getting whooped by Laud for the exact same reasons. While, we want a better improvement than that. And then for the
yeah.
Falco thing, it's like this is something you need to actually practice. So
I mean, and everything we said about the mentality stuff is great, but this is
yeah, it's like even if all the mentality stuff didn't change, if you just changed these two things, those are two sets you would have won.
yeah,
So it's like at the end of the day, don't forget that like we can still talk about mentality and it can be valid, and still there are just literal game plan and practice things that you should be changing, which is more along the lines of what we've been discussing anyway. So we take it back
yeah.
to step one, and you realize it's still the same problems.
I think it also goes back to what you were saying about mentality, where it's like, yeah, all these smashers care so much about mentality, but like they just need to get better at the game, and I think that's also like I definitely need to think that I would probably say keep that stuff in mind as like honestly maybe priority one of just like ways to improve. And
Yeah,
then
it's like if you're good enough at the game, you will perform well, like for real.
yeah, like these are clear situations where I'm not good enough at the game yet, and there are
Yeah.
reasons I lost gameplay wise that shouldn't be reasons I lost. If I
Yep.
can fix them, I can just
And
fix
I
them.
mean, they're also like the Peach one, I think, is a very, very doable fix. I think the Falcon one is like a work in progress, though. That is not something that's going to fix just because you practice your combos a bit. Like, I've been playing Melee since 2004. Falco was my most played matchup. I still showed up to SmashCon and got whooped because I got reversaled by Falco. And it was only then that I watched all the sets again, really thought about it, did some more dedicated practice, and then when I played the Falcos and friendlies, I specifically noted all the spots and made sure I could hit them. And only then did I show up to the next tournament and then beat West twice the next time I played him. Still never beat Mango because I got reversal though, for what it's worth. So even then, I wasn't done working on it.
Okay, well, that's at least I can't really tell if it got better between my set versus Frenzy and my set versus Albert. My guess is it didn't, to be honest, because I don't think I really tried to focus on it besides just thinking, I got reversal. Next time
it's there's literally no excuse for up airing on the platforms for greedy tech chases that you knew you didn't have and getting shield drop shined.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, you know how we said for the Peach case, it's if we sat left and down and played this Peach and every 30 seconds he SD'd, he'd lose 2. I mean, think the same way versus Falco. If 50% of your combos, and I mean, I'm exaggerating, but if 50% of your combos, you get shield drop shined, even Leffen would lose, right?
Yeah.
So, you also need to really realize that, that's a big swing. That's not a small thing. That's just that's not something you can remove from player skill.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's extremely important to realize because, maybe you have improved, and maybe if you never got shield drop shined a single time, you would have been Albert. I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the set, but that's very feasible in my mind.
It wasn't just shield drop shine; it was wake up shines too. But yeah.
I mean, but even just one of them could make a big difference because then you'd also be in a different mental state. You'd be at different stock counts. Lots of things could change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to attribute the whole reason I lost to just getting reversal a few times. That I feel like that,
I mean, it's not the whole reason, but if it's the biggest reason, I mean, start with there.
It's at least the biggest reason that I remember.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. And I mean, maybe you'll fix that and then play him again one day and lose and be like, okay, well, that wasn't the problem. And even though you lost, you can say, okay, well, at least I fixed that problem. Now the other problems will stand out more clearly to me.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, that's true.
So
this Champagne tournament next week in West Balls is coming. So hopefully, I think he's very big on reversaling people.
Yeah, so I mean, he's very, very good at all those situations.
Even if I don't get to play him in tournament, I'm gonna try to play him in.
Yeah. I mean, if you can improve your execution and mentality between now and then to the point where you can be productive with this tournament, feel some small improvement, and see what the next step is, then I mean that's a win.
That's true, even if it's not literally a win.
Yeah, even if it's not literally a win, because the win will happen once you do all of this stuff.
It's so much. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot. And it's if just now, after we've been doing lessons for all this time, you still have all this stuff to work on. I mean, it's no wonder that, you still are stuck at this point in tournaments.
Right.
But, we had to get to this point because you had to improve at all these other things. Because had you not, you would have came to tackle these things, and this 1 hour lesson would have been 4 hours of me having to talk about all these ideas that you currently already have pretty ingrained, but before you might have needed elaboration, or even if you sat down to practice, you wouldn't have known how to practice,
That's true. Yeah.
This is all set up. They're all related. It's not some, separate things.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank
you.
Cool.
I'm glad it sounds good. You're welcome. I mean, I think I do not view your performance at Shine as you failing in some way. It's just time to do the next step.
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
It's really important to feel that way. I think it's okay to be mad in the moment. It's okay to be motivated later, but don't let it detract from just getting more stuff done.
It's true.
Yeah, very important.
Especially when new things come up, even if it's new thing, either new or old things. New things are obviously good that come up, and also old things that come up that I just realized I haven't worked on yet.
Yep.
Getting reversal by foul, right? That's obviously good regardless. It's a thing that I have to work on that I wasn't working on before. That's improvement.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if something you didn't work on before has now stood out to you, I mean, maybe now is just the time to prioritize it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay. Well, good luck. If you have questions throughout the week, feel free to message me. But sounds like you're pretty motivated to work on some important stuff. So I'm excited.
I'm just gonna start beating everyone. So maybe not immediately, maybe, but
but yeah, I mean that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. See ya.